Governments always promise the same things: stability, growth, and financial freedom. But history shows that behind these words lies a system that hasn't changed for centuries. Wealth is consistently transferred from the bottom to the top. In this video, you'll see how hidden financial tricks, from ancient Rome to the modern world, still shape our lives today. Governments always tell you the same thing: we are working for your financial freedom. They talk about stability. They talk about growth. They talk about opportunity. It sounds nice. But when you stop and look at history, you see a very different picture. Because the truth is this: for centuries, governments have used hidden financial tricks to keep ordinary people poor while concentrating wealth in their own hands. And the most striking part is that these tricks are not new. They have been used over and over again. Only the packaging changed. The names changed. But the goal always stayed the same: move wealth upward and keep society dependent on the system. Let's start with the oldest and simplest trick: inflation. When a government can't cover its spending with the taxes it collects, it has two options. Either it comes out honestly and says, "I'm going to raise taxes," which is politically dangerous. Or it quietly devalues the money. Without asking anyone. Without drawing attention. It reduces the purchasing power of the money in your pocket. Ancient Rome knew this trick very well. In the 3rd century AD, rising military costs pushed emperors to reduce the silver content of the denarius. A coin that was once almost pure silver eventually turned into cheap copper coated with a thin layer of silver. The state acted as if nothing was wrong. But the people paid the price. Inflation rose, savings were wiped out, wages could not keep up with prices. This was a silent tax taken straight from the pockets of the people. The same thing is done today. The only difference is that central banks have replaced the mint. In the Middle Ages, the trick was more direct. This time it was called forced loans. In England, France, and Spain, kings knocked on the doors of wealthy merchants and guilds and said, "You will lend money to the state." This was not a request. Those who refused faced fines, confiscation of property, or worse. On paper there were promises of repayment and interest, but in reality the money often came late, came back devalued, or never came back at all. While the state spent on wars and magnificent palaces, merchants were forced to hand over their wealth. The trick was simple: present coercion as a patriotic duty. And this simple trick worked for centuries. By the 17th century, things became more sophisticated. This time, the trick was the financial system itself. When England founded its central bank in 1694, it didn't do it for the benefit of the people. It needed money to fight France. The wealthy bought government bonds, and the state guaranteed interest payments on them. Sounds good, right? But who paid that interest? The public. Through taxes on salt, beer, and cloth. The rich lent money to the state and earned risk-free income. The poor paid higher taxes to finance that income. This was a transfer of wealth dressed up as national finance. And it established a system that still exists today. The safest profit in the world is lending money to the state, because that profit is guaranteed by the labor of the people. When we come to the present day, the tricks are everywhere. Budget deficits, for example. Governments take on massive debts and issue bonds. The public is told infrastructure, jobs, social support. But most of the money goes to defense contractors, large corporations, and bailout packages. When it's time to pay the debt, the cuts don't come from the top. Taxes are raised, money is inflated, or social benefits are cut. The trick is this: the debt is presented as being for the people, but the burden still falls on the people. The winners are the bondholders. The 2008 crisis is the clearest example of this. Banks took excessive risks and pushed the system to the edge of collapse. So who paid the bill? Taxpayers. And who emerged stronger after the crisis? The banks. The trick was very simple: profits were privatized, losses were socialized. And the public was convinced this was necessary to save the system. Pension systems are not innocent either. People invest in the state for years, thinking, this money will be waiting for me when I retire. But often the state does not save that money. It spends it. In its place, it leaves only a promise, meaning future generations will pay. This is a generational Ponzi scheme dressed up in official language. When the population ages, the solution is always the same: cut pensions, raise the retirement age, or erode the money through inflation. If you've noticed, everything is about perception. Inflation is called growth. Forced lending is called duty. Debt is called investment, bailouts are called stability, and cuts are called reform. These words hide the truth. And the truth is always the same: wealth flows from the bottom to the top. In recent years, the game has become even more complex. Concepts like quantitative easing emerged. Central banks created trillions of dollars out of nothing. The system was saved, but for whom? Asset prices exploded. Stocks, houses, and bonds surged in value. Who owns these assets? The rich. For the average person, life simply became more expensive. There are also hidden taxes. Instead of openly raising income taxes, governments rely on sales taxes, fuel taxes, and most importantly, inflation. Your salary goes up, but prices rise faster. The difference is a silent tax taken from you. Governments love this because it reduces their debt. For you, it means your freedom slowly dissolves. The conclusion is very clear: the system is designed to make you work more while owning less real wealth. In Rome, the people grew poorer. In the Middle Ages, merchants were ruined. Today, households pay the bill. Times change, the game does not. The most painful truth is this: most people don't even realize the game is being played. They see inflation as natural, taxes as inevitable, bailouts as kindness. Those who don't know history can't see it repeating itself. Financial knowledge is resistance. Economic history is a weapon. If you know the tricks, it becomes harder to deceive you. History is full of answers. The question is whether you learn to see them. If you're looking for more answers, stay tuned.